Lainey Ballou. Welcome, everybody. I'm Lainey Ballou. I am the Lead Learning and Development Specialist for Imagine Learning. As we go through the presentation tonight, if you have questions, because there's not that many people on here, I think we can handle most of the questions. If you have questions, please let us know. That's what we're here to help you with, is anything you might have questions on. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So the goal for tonight is that you understand the expectations of and the support, the online, and you're able to support the online learning environment. Talk much, Lainey? Understand the roles and responsibility, kind of who does what within the system, have a better understanding of the parent, guardian, and student experience with the Imagine Learning Virtual Portal, that's ILVP, and the learning management system. And as we go through, I talk about some of the best practices and resources that are available. So students working at home, it's very important that students have a comfortable place free from distractions that they can work. Structure is also very important, having a focus time. We find that students that have a regular start time, kind of a regular end time, tend to do better. It doesn't mean you have to start at 8 o'clock. If your student doesn't start till 10, that's just fine. But kind of having a regular time for that student to have a schedule, if you will, for when they're starting school and kind of when they're ending school. Consult your school if you need assistance with your device or other materials, and periodically check on your students to make sure they're actively working and learning and see if they need any help. We offer on-demand tutors. They're there when the students are working. They're there to cover the 4 core courses as well as Spanish and French. They will not cover any of the electives that students might be taking, but for the core courses, they're absolutely fabulous. The students can type in a message, and I'll actually demo this for you in a little bit. They can type in a message and the tutors come right up for the students. So I'll show you that to you because I love the tutors. And one of the reasons that I really love the tutors is because of their hours. So they are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 7:30, and Sundays from 6:30 to 10. Now, you'll notice that the French and Spanish tutors are only available Monday through Friday. So this gives students, no matter what time of day they're working, it gives them an opportunity to click on the tutoring button and get help from a tutor. And the tutors are also very helpful. All of our teachers are highly qualified. They are going to monitor the students' activities and attendance. They will grade activities and give comprehensive feedback, and they are required to have everything graded and returned to the student within 1 to 3 school days. They'll provide a one-on-one session with the student, so the student just needs to reach out, and I'll show you exactly where this is and book a meeting with the teacher. So they can book a 30-minute session with the teacher every day, every other day, once a week, whenever they need it. But our teachers are there, and students can book a meeting with them. They're going to offer ongoing progress updates to students, to families, to the mentors as well. So they want, it's a total communication package with us. We want everybody to know what's happening with the students. They respond to communication within or by the next school day. Our teachers may have 4 30-minute sessions back to back, so they may be tied up for 2 hours, but they will get back to the student just as quickly as possible. And they'll communicate with your student at least once a week. At this point in time, all the students should have received a welcome email from each of their teachers telling them kind of a little bit about themselves and information on the course, as well as informing them about the 30-minute session that they can schedule with the teacher. Students need to know what the expectations are for success. These are core courses. These are real courses. They are built for 18 weeks. And when they're done for 18 weeks, that's an hour a day. You guys are starting a little bit later, so you may have to do a little bit more than an hour a day on the courses that you have. Very easy to do, though. I mean, if you're diligent about your schoolwork, you can get that done in no time. If you want to work on one class all day long, that's okay. If you're really geared up and you're working on that English and you're going, hey, that's fine. Stick with your English and then do your math the next day. Whatever works for you as far as scheduling. If you can focus and get something done, that's the nice thing about online learning is that It's your schedule. So just make sure that by Friday, you're on pace and have a passing grade. That's my rule of thumb. Fridays, be on pacing and have a passing grade. You're going to want to take good notes. Within the system, we have guided notes, which are totally awesome. We have e-notes, and guess what? Our teachers don't care if you take plain old paper and pencil notes. My daughter used index cards. That was her thing. It worked quite well for her. So whatever works for you, as long as you're taking some type of notes. You want to be sure and check your communications daily from your teachers. They're not going to send out just random emails. They're going to send out emails, maybe if you're a little behind on pacing or if you need to work on your mastery or something like that. So, and they're going to contact you at least weekly to check in with you. Communicate with that virtual teacher. Our teachers are real. Most of them have taught in the regular classroom and now are teaching online. That you are their students. You are their students. So they are there to help you any way that they possibly can, and they want to communicate with you. Some of the time, our teachers will do a study hall or a small group session. If I'm teaching algebra and I see a group of my students don't understand polynomials, I may decide that Wednesday at 2 o'clock, I'm going to do a session on polynomials. If you can join the session at that time, that's great. If not, check with the teacher because most of the time they record those sessions to help the students. If you're doing great on polynomials, you don't have to attend it, but they will, they'll kind of look at the courses and see if any group of students is struggling, and that's when they do the group sessions. And then make sure as a student that you're asking the teacher, the on-demand tutors, or a mentor for help. We don't want anybody struggling within the system just simply because you didn't know where to find something, how to do something. So be sure and reach out. Any questions so far from anybody? No? Yes, ma'am.
I'll just jump in and say too, your mentor teacher with VLAC is always a great place to start as well if you need any support.
Any other questions? Any questions? Okay, then I'm going to jump in and go live. That's my favorite part, just to see it live. And I'm going to go in as a student. This is my student. Nobody judge her grades, okay? She has another full-time job. So when the students are in here, on the left-hand side, there's two tabs that are extremely important. As parents, you can see the information over here on the left-hand side. You will have your own messages. You cannot go into the courses, okay? This is how the students go into the courses. As parents, you can't do that, but you can see the information over here on the left-hand side. So let's talk about which two tabs are the most important for students to be viewing. Oh, sorry, I forgot to send myself a message. If students have a message from the teacher right here on their messages tab, they will have a red circle with a number in it. So everybody should have received their email that said that their welcome email from their teacher. They also received emails saying that they were enrolled in a new course. They can delete those. But the one from the teacher, be sure and read that. Right here, I have an actual welcome email from one of our teachers. Different teachers send out different information, so it varies a little bit in here. I know I have a friend that sends out a welcome email and asks 3 questions because she wants the students to go in there and reply. You'll notice it here, Ms. Caldwell actually put in here, told us how to make sure and book a meeting. Her information is all down here as well, too, although we don't have to memorize this. We have another place for the information as well too, but the welcome emails, especially for some courses where there's, I know the Spanish course, the Spanish teacher sends out a wonderful, not in her welcome email, but the second email she sends out talks about how to make accents over letters and that sort of thing. So depending on the course, there may be nuances in an email that you may need to know about. So make sure you're checking those emails. Now for my friend that, sends out an email that you have to reply to right here. You just simply click the reply button and you can type your message, and then down at the bottom, you can hit send. We tried to make this system just as simple as possible for students to use, well, for everybody to use. So if you need to respond, you've got the teacher's email right there. Respond to it. If it's something you don't need to keep, if the teacher sent out a weekly progress report and told you how wonderful you're doing, and you just want to archive it, you can archive it. So whatever you want, however you want to maintain your email up here is great. If you're in here and you have archived everything, that's okay too. You can click up here and click on compose. And if you just start typing your teacher's name, her name or his name will pop up in here, put in a subject, type the message, and simply click send. So we want you reaching out to the teachers. The teachers want to hear from you. So if you do have questions on anything, be sure and send your teacher a question, an email about it, or give them a call. And how do you know what their phone number is? Well, we saw it in the signature line, but the second most important tab over here is course information. I wish it said teacher information because that's what it is. So course information over here on the left-hand side. And depending on the number of courses you have, you can click through my Spanish teacher, my algebra teacher. So different teachers, you'll have different tabs up here for your various teachers. Teachers put different information in here, and I do not have one that has one in here, but right down here at the bottom, everybody will have a tab called book a meeting or book an appointment. It'll say something like that, and it'll be bold, book a meeting or book an appointment. That's where you can click on that link, and it will take you to a spreadsheet where you can pick a day, you pick the time, you put in your name, and the teacher will send you the link so you can have that 30-minute one-on-one session with the teacher. You'll notice here also we have a phone number where you can reach out to the teacher. This number is textable as well as calling. Some of the teachers put bio information here, so you and read it if you want to. You'll find out you might have something in common with your teacher. We have one teacher that plays a lot of soccer, and all the kids love her because she talks about soccer. So you might find something in common with your teacher as well too. And then right here, you don't even really have to know the teacher's name. You can click on email your teacher and select a priority, the subject, put in your message, and click send. So hopefully you do know your teacher's name, but it's very easy to reach out to them. And if you're different courses, like I said, different teacher information, all my teachers are fake. Our real teachers do a fabulous job of giving you all their information. They just won't give it to me. They don't want me enrolled in their real classes where they're taking care of you all. So that's teacher information though, right here. Equally, almost equally as important is the mentor information. It's very important as well too. So reaching back, and I'm sorry, Andrea, who did you say was the mentor? You mentioned that a minute ago.
So yeah, so all the students are going to have a specific VLAC mentor teacher. It's Mrs. Hassan right now.
Okay, perfect. So if you want to reach out to her under mentor information, this is where her information will be. Just like with the teacher, you can click on email the mentor, select a priority, always the highest. Put in your subject, type your message, and click send. So same thing, there should be a phone number here as well. So reaching your mentor, it's all about communication. Communication is just so very important. We don't want anybody out there struggling because they have a question they don't know who to ask. You can ask the teacher, you can ask the mentor, you can ask the on-demand tutors, and they'll help you as well too. We want to make sure everybody gets help if they need it. But for students, the two most important tabs would be messages. If you have that red circle with a number in it, it means you have a message from your teacher. If you click in here and you don't see that red tab, that's fine. Just go ahead and pop into your classes. That's great. But if you see the red circle, make sure you click on it and see what your teacher is sending you. Okay, we've got the mentor tab, then course information, which is the teacher information. Right here's our academic snapshot. Parents, this one's for you. This is where you can see how your student is doing. You'll notice that when I look at my student, she's doing pretty good on her overall grade. She's making pretty good grades. Overall grade is the average of the work that the student has completed. It's the average of the work that the student has completed. Okay. I didn't mention relative because we don't use that one. It's just that cumulative average that's going to grow as the semester goes on. So we ignore that one. But the overall grades, the average of the work that the student has completed. And you'll notice that I'm doing pretty good overall. In my English course, I'm doing pretty good because they're both the same because I am on pace. I'm a little bit ahead of pace, as a matter of fact. However, if we jump over here to my Spanish class, things get a little ugly, don't they? Because my actual grade, which is the grade that's reported, is a 23 versus a 92, and that's because I'm behind on pacing. Within our system, what we do is if students get behind, we put in figurative zeros. The students can always make them up if they get back on pace. and we average them with the overall grade. That's how we get the actual grade. Okay, so it's kind of like if I gave you 10 assignments, you did 8 of them, that would be your overall grade, but then you didn't do 2 yet. I'm going to average those 2 zeros and get your actual grade. Okay, so that's what actual grade comes from, and actual grade is what's reported. And when students are in here, actual grade is what they see. They see the individual assignments, but then when they go to their progress overview, they see the actual grade. They see the actual grade on their course titles as well too. So any questions on overall versus actual? That's usually the toughest thing we have to cover. Okay, as long as it's, like I said, as long as the student's on pace, those 2 grades will be exactly the same, and that's what we hope for, is everybody to be on pace. Okay, scrolling on down, we have student activity. Love this because as a parent, I would often have to check on my son to actually make sure he was doing the work. My daughter, not so much, my son always. But right here, this is how many minutes my student has spent on the system in the last 2 weeks. So as a parent, if you want to know, are they really doing that? I'm sure all of your students are perfect. I had one very diligent student, one not so diligent. So for me, this is where I might want to go to check and make sure that the student's actually spending the correct amount of time. Keep in mind, it's at least an hour a day per course. So as I've done different minutes, I haven't even been in my Spanish class or my algebra class in the last 2 weeks because they're not listed here. So if I can go back, let me go back a month and see if I don't know that. Oh, there's Spanish. I did a little in Spanish too. So their courses will be listed across here and the number of minutes that they spent each day. Okay, so I like being able to kind of check on. You won't have request courses. Edit account. If you need to change your password, and this is for the students, passwords are only good for a day. So you want to, if you have to change it, come in here and change it, put in a new one, confirm and save. Parent.
I don't, really quick, I don't think they'll be able to change it. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but if we're integrated with Clever.
You're Clever. I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, I forgot you're Clever. Yeah. You won't have to worry about this at all because Clever's going to take care of that. Ignore what I just said. Sorry. Okay. Parents, right here's where you can add yourself to the account. So once the student, I'm logged on still as my student, and I'm just clicked on add guardian down here at the bottom, add guardian. You can add yourself, grandma, dad, mom, whoever in here. It doesn't require a whole lot of information. Last name, first name, email, phone number. Login does have to be something unique. Email's great for login. Everybody's is unique. Password has to be, I think, 8 letters now plus a number. If you don't hit enough of those, it'll tell you exactly what it is. We just changed that a little bit ago. And then if you want to, you can do a secret question down here. Once you add yourself, you'll receive an email telling you that you're going to go to the ilvp.imaginelearning.com URL, and it will tell you what your username and password is that you just added. So it'll give you the URL, your username, and your password again, and that will come from noreply@edgenuity.com. So any parents and students can have up to 7 guardians in the system. And then school calendar, we don't use this one, but on the back side of the system, all the district holidays have been added. So students will not have homework on Thanksgiving or the day after, or if there's fall break. All the different holidays have been added already. So the students will not have any work on those days. And then external links just takes us, the students receive this orientation video when they get their email as well too. It just covers what we just went over here on the left-hand side. Any questions? No questions? Okay, moving on. And like I said, the parents can see the information over here. Parents, that's all. You'll have your own messages. You cannot go into the courses, but for students, this is where you'll move to your courses. It doesn't matter which one you click on because it's going to take you to your main page. So whether you have 3 courses or 6 courses, you'll see all your courses right here. I was logged in a minute ago. That's why that one popped up there. This is what it will look like. You'll have an orientation video to watch. You have to watch it. It won't let you go anywhere if you don't. Once you watch the orientation video, you want to be sure and click on the course name. Okay, somewhere up here, I always just say click on the course name because it's so much more helpful to you see more information. Let me show you the difference. So right here, when I click on next activity, if you're feeling a little lost and you don't know what you're supposed to do, you're like, I had a young man at orientation go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do each day. And it's because he was clicking on next activity instead of the course name. So it's very helpful if you click on the course name. Right. The student has to add you to it. When you get your email, it'll tell you what the URL is. It's ilvp.imaginelearning.com. Andrea, can you put that in the chat for me? Do you mind? Thank you. Oh, you already did. She's so good, isn't she? Thank you. So when you're in here, you don't see a whole lot of information. So let's go back over here. And look at the difference, because this is what, just one of my things here that when we click on the course name, look at everything we see. We see exactly what we have to do on each given day. We can say, and I love this pink banner, love the pink banner, because if I'm behind, it tells me exactly an hour and 57 minutes, almost 2 hours, which when you're looking at 9 overdue activities, it doesn't seem that bad, but when we're talking about 2 hours, that seems bad. So when you're in here, you'll get that pink banner and you can see exactly when everything is due when you click on the course name. Okay. We can see the blue check marks mean that I have done all those activities. And then down here is when I go astray. I stopped doing my work on the 12th, hence why I'm a little bit behind on my activities. Students will be forced ordered. I can move around in mine a little bit. That's when my quiz is done, but students are forced ordered through the system. Okay. So they will have to go through here and do all the various lessons in order. Over here on the left-hand side, this is where they can see their progress overview. We see that I have a 73. I mentioned how students would always see the actual grade. They'll always see their actual grade. And we can see that I'm just a little bit ahead on my target. So, and then right here we have e-notes. If the student wants to take e-notes, whatever works for them, that's what I say. Whether it's e-notes, guided notes, or plain paper and pencil, right here are where you can see the e-notes, though. You'll see mine are very copious indeed. When they can use their notes on the quizzes and the test, but not the exams. And they can print the notes, or they can just come back in here and study them. So whichever way works. I'll show you where the students can take these. Teachers can also see the e-notes. They can't see the guided notes or the regular notes, but they can see the e-notes. Then when we click back to our course map, this will, take me in here so I can see everything. When I'm in an assignment, let's go to instruction. Yeah, I want to do instruction. There are a lot of different tools that the student can use depending on what they need. If I'm and I don't know, I'm going to share my sound. In here, the student will have to watch the videos in order as well, too.
The meter, in a way, determines the rhythm of the poem. And
depending on your student's learning style, right here, I can click on closed captioning.
Let's look at 2 examples of different.
And maybe I'm a very visual learner and I want to see the words as well as hear the words.
I'll read the first one out to you.
So I have
try to pay attention to the rhythm. So
the students will have to move through the videos in order. On the right-hand side, we also have the transcript. So if maybe I'm a visual learner and I want to come back and read the transcript rather than listening to the video again, that's fine. The glossary is available. All the glossary words will be somewhere. They are very important. They will be on a quiz, a test, an exam. They will be somewhere. So it's important for students to learn all the glossary words. And when you click on them,
couplet,
you will read to them. And then we have the e-notes. And this is where the students can take notes. So as the cool part about this is, as the teacher is speaking,
so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. I'm going to read it once more, and I'm going to put a little mark.
Okay, he's going to read it again, but I didn't get it the first time. So I can stop. I can take more notes. And then once I'm finished for the day, I can save my notes, or finished for, with my English course or this particular lesson, I can save my notes. So right there is where they would take their e-notes. Let me go back to one other thing over here, and then we're going to go in and talk to our tutor. Love the tutors. When the students are in here, as I mentioned, the e-notes, right in the units blue border is where you'll find the guided notes. Love the guided notes. Let me click on these and bring them up. Okay, I've got to stop my share and reshare. And here's an example of the guided notes. And they do need to be printed if you want to use them in this format, but even if you don't want to print them, because sometimes they can be long, you can still use them for note taking. They're great. I mean, I'm going to do matching on these, so I'm writing out the definition, aren't I? So I don't have to have it in this format. Love it in this format, but they're here so that they can be used. We're getting to where more of them can be written on, edited online as well too. So that's a possibility as well. I don't know how many of our courses we've gotten to that on, but I know that a few of them, they've started making them editable online. So like I said, even if you don't want to print, that's okay. Still use them for the note taking, because this is the important information that will be on the test and quiz. So we've got the great guided notes within the system. Close that down. Okay. That is under the plus sign. Any foreign languages do not have guided notes. I think most of the, I'm not sure about some of the electives, but all the core courses will have the guided notes. Okay, so let me pop back into my instruction. And we're going to go right over here to chat with a tutor. When the student's in here, if it's appropriate, they're not going to be able to chat with the tutor during a quiz. But when they're in the instruction portion of the course, they can chat with the tutor. So let me click on chat with a tutor. When they're in here, they can just ask questions and chat back and forth. I was just telling what I'm doing. I'll go, show me a whiteboard, because I love the whiteboard. Students might have to wait a little while. There we go. Sherry's on here today. I can't talk and type, sorry. Sorry. I love this though. If the students and it's funny because I talk to a lot of the on-demand tutors because I do trainings during the day and bug them all day long. Some of them say the students want to type back and forth because they don't want to chat. Other tutors go, the students want to chat, they want to talk live because they don't want to spell things. So I'm definitely better at chatting than I am typing. So I put YS. So I don't believe I've chatted with this tutor before. So give her just a second. And there can be a way, especially during the busiest. Oh, there we are. And this is the whiteboard. She just scribbled all over it. I can also write on here. Let me see if she'll go ahead and talk with us too. Because I love the chat feature, because one of the things that the on-demand tutors have told me is that with the chat, it's easier to ask questions back and forth, obviously, when you're chatting. So some of the time the kids don't want to, and that's okay. They can continue to type on here even when they're using the whiteboard. So it just depends on whatever the student's preference is. The teachers, the tutors can bring in, like they'll ask me what course I'm in. They know when I go in here that I'm in my English course. They can put formulas on the board. They can bring in slides from lessons that the student's on. I think we lost her. Oh, she's working with another student. Okay. And they do work with a couple of students at the same time, kind of back and forth. It amazes me how wonderful them. Hi there, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Tell me how you say your name.
Sarai.
Right. Sarai, this is Lainey. I'm showing you up for parents and students. We're doing an orientation this evening. Tell us a little bit about how you use the whiteboard with the students.
I use the board to just show examples, let them show me what work they did on their paper or whatever, because I can't see what they're doing. It doesn't do very well with adding photos yet, but when we can, we try to do screenshots and put them on there. So really just showing them, putting the work on the screen so we could both see it instead of doing it on our own.
Yeah. Do you find that the students prefer to talk or chat or type?
Chat. Sometimes the audio doesn't work, and then if I'm on audio with one kid, I can't be on audio with the other kid. So
okay. Well, very
for most of the time we're just chatting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. We'll let you go since I know you're on with another student. Anything else you want to add? And do you all want to ask her anything?
And he just left, so now I'm free.
Okay. Does anybody want to ask our on-demand tutor anything? I know we have a student. Andrea, do we have a student on here? Have you used the on-demand tutors?
We have a couple students on here.
Have you all used the on-demand tutor? Our students are being shy tonight.
I know. You could type in the chat box too.
I guess not. Okay. Well, we'll let you go. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you for answering our questions.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So right there, the tutors are wonderful. She didn't chat as much as some of them. Some will just chat, tell you everything that they do. So it's wonderful though. They're all just so very helpful. The fact that they're willing to just jump on with me anytime when I bug them. I bug them early in the morning. I bug them late in the evening. So they're wonderful though. And like I said, they have longer hours. So when your teacher might not be around, these on-demand tutors, just, click on on-demand tutor. Some of the time when this pops up, depending on how busy they are, they'll ask you which area you're studying, math, science, social studies, that sort of thing. So you can click on that. When they're more busy is when you see this one. So just kind of an FYI. Okay, any questions on how to use the system? Anything at all? Is everybody feeling a little bit better? Y'all are so quiet. Means I did a really good job or a really bad job. I don't know which.
No, you've covered a whole lot. I know one of our students is just getting started today, so this is like he's dipping his toes in.
Perfect. So the main thing for you when you dip your toe in is do it via the course name and not the next activity. That would be my main thing right there. Make sure that way you can see the big picture. I like the big picture. Oh, thank you. I got a thumbs up. Thank you all. No other questions? I meant to point out too, students also see their actual grade right here as well too, and how they are doing in the course. No other questions? Oh, do students go to school to take the final exam for proctoring?
No, they do not for a regular class. They will have to come in person if it's an AP class.
And the teachers will have to unlock those exams. So you want to let them know because they go in and review everything before they unlock an exam. They do go and look over what the student's done, make sure that they've completed everything before they unlock exams. You are welcome. No other questions?
I'll ask a question. I'll be brave.
Okay.
So the very best place for students to see their actual grade and their progress is going to be that academic snapshot, correct?
Well, when they're in the course,
Mhm.
they can actually go to their progress overview, their dashboard over here, their progress dashboard. So
Okay.
they can either place is fine, either place. I mean, they can see all their courses in the one academic snapshot, but when they're in their courses, generally I don't know. I think because they're in the course, they want to know what their actual grade is. They're going to pop over here.
Right.
They're
No,
in
that
the
makes
course.
sense. Okay.
But I mean, and when they're at home, like I said, they can see their pacing and their actual grade here too. So, but you're
Okay,
right.
excellent.
If they pop back over here, they can actually go to the academic snapshot over here as well. So we try to make it apparent for everybody in all the different places.
Mhm.
Good question.
It's kind of this view right here seems like if they want like all their classes in one place, that's a good place to go. But if they're just looking at one class at a time, they can go in the actual course.
Right. Or if they want all their classes
Okay.
here too.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Either way, just, kind of depends on where you are.
Right. Yeah.
Where are you at that moment in time? So, because if I'm sitting here
you.
or if I'm on this window, I'm definitely going to go to the academic snapshot. You're absolutely right. If I'm already in a course, I'm probably going to go to my progress overview and go, what do I have in here? So kind of know the different places you can find it.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. There are no bad questions. No other questions? I will say that I think generally students do very well getting started in this, as long as they click on that and they can see exactly where they're supposed to be going and know exactly what's due each day. It's pretty easy to follow along and get the work done. No other questions? Well, that's basically all I have. So thank you all for joining us very much. I wish everybody the best of luck working on their courses. I think you'll enjoy the courses. I really do. And like I said, reach out to those teachers if you have any questions. Use those on-demand tutors. They're awesome.
Thank you so much, Lainey. I'll go ahead and stop the recording now.
Okay.